Good afternoon, wonderful to see you again, and welcome to another chill day off vlog. It's my first day off in like 7 days, so a lot of which have been late nights, so I slept until midday today, as I was very much looking forward to doing. So breakfast was lunch, very happily today. I have no plans other than chilling and mucking about, basically, with a little bit of socializing in between. Today we have already been for a little bit of shopping, a little bit of a browse at some Christmas knickknacks, which I am resisting to buy because I'm in a new place that I won't even be in next Christmas, so you know, trying not to buy too many Christmassy decorations, even though I really want to, because I needed to pick up a couple of bits and pieces from the glorious thing that is the kind of Chinese run knick-knack shop that exists in just about every small and big town and city here in Italy. They truly are the backbone of the entire country. So I went for a little browse to get some stuff for the kitchen. We don't have a whisk, astonishingly, which I only discovered like last week, which is a baker, slight problem. Also picked up a couple of little like jar things because I wanted to make these little kind of individual pudding dessert things, and I wasn't really sure what I wanted to make, but I then decided what I wanted to make. So I then went to do a little bit of a food shop and picked up all the ingredients that I believed I would need for a Bailey's panna cotta with a little bit of chocolate and some crunchy something on top that I yet to decide. And immediately, while we still had daylight to make some content out of it and enough time for it to set before it becoming tomorrow, I got into the kitchen and I have made what I'm hoping is going to be a semi-decent panna cotta, because me and gelatin have a tumultuous past in the kitchen, let's say. Not as tumultuous and toxic as my relationship with macarons, but that's a story for another day. And when I say making a panna cotta, it's essentially one of the easiest desserts to make. Not the easiest to perfect, but one of the easiest to kind of put together. For this particular one that I'm kind of playing with the recipe for, and obviously if it turns out well, I'll post the recipe in the description box, and I'll also post it on maverickbaking.com for you guys. If not, we'll forget this whole thing ever happened. All you really need, or all I really needed to kind of play around with this recipe, is fresh cream. Here in Italy, they only really have one kind of fresh cream. In the UK, I would recommend using double cream because I don't understand why single cream even exists. But that's a separate debate. Heated that up with a generous amount of Baileys, because there's nothing worse than when you get a Baileys dessert and it doesn't taste of Baileys, it just tastes of something creamy. No, we want Baileys, we want booze. So cream, Baileys, and then basically super simply that goes on the heat to not boil essentially, but to get hot to the touch, to steam, at the most to simmer, because we don't want to lose that kind of alcohol in there, like the actual alcohol. We also don't want to lose the kind of lovely warmth that comes with alcohol in a dessert. I also personally put in a pinch of salt, though that would totally be up to you, and I also add a couple of teaspoons of brown or demerara sugar because it just adds a little bit of flavor as well as the sweetness. But if you prefer things pure, feel free to use granulated or caster sugar. In the meantime, you're going to need to soak some gelatin leaves. I've used 2. I hope that will be enough. I hope it won't be too much though, because the delicate balance in a panna cotta is never the flavor. It's very difficult to make it taste bad because it's essentially cream with things in it. It's never going to be bad, you know. But the consistency of a panna cotta is everything. Because they're going to be staying inside a jar, 2 gelatin leaves may be too much, and it may become either too firm or like too springy, almost chewy when you use too much gelatin. That's not really what I want. Typically, if it's one that you're turning out of a mold, you're going to want more so that you can like spank it and it'll still hold its shape. Because then of course if you don't use enough, it essentially just becomes a kind of a flaccid mousse thing, and nobody really wants that. So not entirely sure if 2 gelatin leaves is going to be enough. Anyway, I put those in some water to soak for 10 minutes, which essentially turns them from these like hard sort of snappable sheets of crisscrossy mystery into gelatinous, unsurprisingly kind of squishy substance. And once the cream and the Baileys and the sugar and everything is hot, you basically squeeze all of the water out of the gelatin, throw it in, whisk it all together, and just make sure that all of it's dissolved, melted. And then that goes into your containers. In this case, I have 4 of these little jar things that I bought from the shop today, because I wanted to make them really like small desserts, not kind of too big. But I think this would be enough to make 6 portions. 6 that small, or maybe 4 kind of portions that you could put in a regular drinking glass or like a whiskey tumbler. And to that, once it sets, I want to add a kind of milk / dark chocolate ganache. I think I'll do a mix of both, because I think milk chocolate might be too kind of cloying, but dark chocolate might overwhelm the alcohol a bit. And that I'm going to do just by heating up some cream again, until, again, not boiling, just hot to the touch and steaming, before adding it, like pouring it over the chocolate. What I will definitely be adding is a pinch of salt, because salt in chocolate ganache turns it from just a regular ganache into one that you would risk your life for, because it's so addictive. So that's the plan. And then I'm just gonna leave them in the fridge to just kind of hang out in there until it's time for dessert, or until my flatmates want a snack, and we'll see how they are. Other than that, I have a couple of boring household things like laundry and some cleaning and you know, like dinner to do. Later, I maybe want to go and do a little bit of browsing for some Christmas gifts, perhaps. I have the energy and la voglia. And then I have some birthday drinks for a friend in Venice this evening, so that's what we're up to. In this bag here, I have some lovely Christmas gifts that we're not looking at, in case certain people may be watching this video. Okay? Understood? Over here instead, because it's impossible to shop for Christmas gifts without shopping for gifts for thyself at the same time, this little taste of Scotland popped into my eyeline, and I thought, you know, it's been a year, and though it's the 22nd of November as I film this, it's mince pie time, so these will make for entertaining things for friends to taste, but also for me. An advent calendar, because it's a must even at almost 30 years old, and some fancy tea, because the rooibos tea I have is almost finished and I wanted an excuse to try this chocolate and vanilla one. Already snacked on some mandarins and some nuts and some biscuits earlier, so super simple and super quick dinner because I need to go out soon. Deve essere panna cotta al Bailey sotto e una mi sa che forse è troppo liquido il ganache sopra, vediamo. Direi forse un tocco di sale in più nel cioccolato per me, però consistenza bello jiggly. Perché sto parlando l'italiano? Oh. Il Baileys è giusto, però.
È buono. Minchia.